Hi everybody, welcome back to Rachel and Bella Crafts. Rachel here. I hope you're all well. So I'm going to get straight into this because I kind of put a post up last night, went to bed, woke up this morning and our group was just like imploded with questions and everything going on. It's been brilliant. First of all, thank you so much to everybody that watched the video that I put on yesterday, which was my day one of the 100 days project. After posting that video, I did then go into our Facebook group. This is our Facebook group. For those of you that don't know, it's Junk Journal Trading Post with Rachel and Bella Crafts. I went into the Facebook group and I posted a post that told you all basically about the video that I put on. I'm just showing you, these are some of the posts that have gone on in this morning. And also explaining to you all that I was going to be doing the 100 days project and that I would love you to come along and do it with me. So let's go back to the top. If you go into the top of the group, first of all, there's a section at the top of the group called Featured. If you go into the Featured section, you can actually do this. You can scroll along to see the last few posts, okay? And anything that we kind of would like you to see and read, it goes there, okay? But in the Featured post, you will find a new event has been set up. Now, I set up an event page so that it's easy to find all of the information, okay? So if you go into that, it'll take you to the event. And then if you look at the event, there should be a bit here that says, well, actually on mine it says what to expect, but on my phone it says directions, I think it says. So this tells you what's going on. So I'm going to basically explain really quickly. There'll be a tutorial posted every day over the next 100 days. Yes, I know that's slightly just over 3 months. The idea is, for myself, it's a little personal journey for me to be able to commit to some time to craft every day for 100 days in the hope that it'll get me into a routine of doing that, and the hope that it'll help with my well-being as well, because it just gives me that bit of time and giving myself permission basically to craft every day for a small period of time. I'm not setting a time limit on it, that's on me, but same with you. But if you want to craft along with me, we will be doing an event in the Facebook group, so you can come and post your photographs of what you've done for that project. Now, I don't expect you to post on the day I post my video. It doesn't matter when you do it, just get them on there is the main thing. In this group, there'll be a new group page set up every week, just so that we can kind of, otherwise it's going to get like fuller and fuller. You can post your pictures on the main group page as well. In fact, that would be lovely if you did, because it encourages other people to join in. But every time you put something on, please use the hashtag, and this is the hashtag here. It is hashtag 100 days RAB. Rach and Bella, that stands for, just in case you're wondering what RAB means. So 100 days RAB, and don't forget the S on days, okay? Just make sure you get that spelling right, because when I do a search then, because there'll be prizes, I'm just going to be typing that hashtag into the top of the group search bar and it will pull up all your posts, because I haven't got time to scroll through hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of posts and pictures. So if you want to be picked up to be put into the giveaways, you need to use the hashtag on your post. Now, there are two different giveaways. There is an Amazon voucher that you can win. If you do every project for the 100 days, you'll go into the draw for the Amazon voucher. And if you do your project and you use one of my kits, there'll be a draw that is done weekly for that. And everybody that uses a kit with the hashtag will be put in a draw to win a kit at the end of the week. Okay, so that's two separate draws. So I'm just going to say that again. So there is one draw if you do the project every day and post, basically if you post 100 posts in the next 100 days, you will be put into the draw to win an Amazon voucher. But you need to use that hashtag, because if you forget to use the hashtag and you miss one, you're going to miss out. So guys, it's really important you put that on. It's not to nag you, it's just so I can find it. Otherwise you're posting and it'll just get lost. So make sure you put that on, and then that makes sure then that it grabs you when I do the search, okay? And if you make something and you're using one of Rachel and Bella kits, then you'll also go into a weekly draw to win some more kits. I mean, you can't go wrong for that, can you? So, you know, just basically using what you've got there. I expect you're already working with the kits. You've been doing the projects. We've had letters of love and all that out, and there'll be more coming out in the next month. Lots going on. There'll also be freebies. That does include using freebies too. So absolutely, just get in there, dive in, have a go. These projects are not going to be complicated. They're going to be fairly simple. Some will be longer than others. Some will be quite short videos. Some will be like yesterday, you know, it was a startup one. But let's just get on with it. Let's have some fun. Yay! Okay, I've taken a breath. I'm a little calmer now. I haven't eaten my breakfast yet. Just in case you have just joined, just in case you have just joined the channel and don't know much about myself, I will just forewarn you, my hands do shake quite a bit in the mornings. I've got rheumatoid arthritis. Please don't be alarmed. That's why I normally film at night. So if I'm dropping things, just ignore me. Laugh, do whatever you want, but don't worry about it. I'm fine. It's just first thing in the mornings, I'm a little bit, the grip's not there. First thing. So we're going to get straight into this today. Now, as I just explained, some of these projects will be longer, some will be shorter, because I know you've got lots of things going on that you all want to have a go at and take part in. Other people will obviously be running these little challenges as well. So I don't want to monopolise all your time. This is just to inspire you. Please don't feel under pressure. You take part if you want to. It's going to be a lot of fun. So for today's video, for today's challenge, our little project for day 2 is going to be using these lovely strips that you should have had left over if you were using bits of paper when we did this yesterday. So day 1, if you missed day 1, go back and do day 1. We made this lovely little envelope flip file folder, which is going to have dual purpose. You can either use it at the end as a journal topper, so think about the sizing of the envelopes you use, or there may be alternative suggestions for it later on, but we'll come to that after. But when we were cutting down our bits of you know, our kit pages or whatever it is you're using to cover, I had these strips left over, so I want to use up these strips. Now I know if you've got a scrap basket, you're going to have these strips, okay? So I know some of you like the measurements. I'm just really quickly tell you the strips I'm working with here. This one, for example, is about 2 inches wide. They're all roughly about that. That one there is not. That one's 1.5 inches. If you want it in centimetres, that's 4 centimetres, that's 5 centimetres, but it really doesn't matter. The main thing is that you've got quite a few, okay? And what we're going to do, we're going to create some little tucks and some pockets with these strips. This is going to be so easy, all right? You'll want a pair of scissors maybe, you might just want a ruler, and you're definitely going to want a little bit of glue. There may be some stitching involved, but the stitching is optional, okay guys? Right, let's get cracking then. So what we're going to do, I've just quickly sorted them into type, so you know, they're off the same sheet. I'm going to put those together as one. These were off the same sheet here. I want those together, and then these were longer ones, so they're going to do. So I'm going to make 3 little tuck pocket things. So let's start off with that one there. Put those over there. Let me grab my envelope because I need to know what page they're going to go on to make sure that they fit. Now, those of you that were with me yesterday and saw my boo-boo, you will remember I put a hole in my piece of paper. I was watching my video back when I was editing it last night, and I was like, yeah, it's fine, it's fine. It wasn't fine. I was actually quite disappointed. Oh, Rach, really? Really? But it doesn't matter. It's going to be fine. It's going to be fine. So we're going to fix that now this morning. I'm going to fix it with one of these lovely pockets. So grab your strips. Choose which envelope page you're going to work on first. So let's not overwhelm ourselves. Let's do this in little bites. We've got quite a bit here to be working on, haven't we? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to simply, this is so easy. I'm going to simply take these strips. I am going to layer them in such a way. And then I am going to create a little tuck out of them. And then that then will sit there. I'm going to decorate it. We're going to jazz them up. Do whatever you want with them. Keep them as simple as you like. You know, whatever resources you've got. Don't go buying the stuff to do these challenges, my guys. I want to keep it really simple for you. You can do this with anything. Even if you're working with a magazine, you can just use strips, okay? This is not, you know, brick in the bank kind of stuff, so don't stress. The only thing you will need, well, I'm going to use, because I'm going to be a bit of a cheat, I'm going to use my corner cutter. She tidied her room. It's okay, I got it. Right, the only thing you will need is, well, I'm going to use my corner wrangler, just because, I mean, but you can do it with scissors, so it's entirely up to you. So before we do anything, let's just take these off, because if we're using these as a tuck, we just need to, well, it's just going to be easier for putting things in and out if you just round your corners off, I think, anyway. And just take that bit of white off the edge of there, because that will drive me daft otherwise. Oh my word, I'd forgotten how shaky my hands are in the morning. Perhaps I won't do any of my videos this early again. Not if I'm cutting anything anyway. I do like to keep my fingers intact if I can. Oh, you've got to laugh, haven't you? You've got to laugh. Right, there, see now how straight away that's better. Now, you can layer them that way if you want. Actually, that probably looks better. Yeah, let's do that. So I hope we haven't stuck anything yet. I did have a couple of comments last night. My mother did message me. Bella messaged, well, she was watching, and she was like, I was shouting at you to stop sticking on the envelopes. If you've watched yesterday's video, you'll have seen that there was a boo-boo at the beginning. So make sure you see the end before you start crafting along. I ought to put a disclaimer on my videos, perhaps saying that. Yeah, that's better. Okay, let's step it down. Okay, guys, let's step it down. Now, you've got two choices here about the way in which we put these together because, and I'm just going to point these things out now because it's too late after we stick. You can have a nice tuck that you can put something considerable in, a big journal tag. But if you glue these together at just that point there, you can also then have a tuck there and a tuck there. So in the actual fact, from these 3 strips of scrap paper, you're creating 3 pockets for yourself. And that's before we even then get on to working on the front. So I don't want to overwhelm you. Let's deal with one thing at a time here now. So I'm just going to mark where I need to cut, because obviously these are a bit long. Where's my lovely Laura Ashley pen? I was hoping to find a pencil, but this will do for now. Right, so I'm going to just mark there, and mark there. Right, 2 seconds. Now, depending on what papers you're using, if you want to ink now, that's entirely up to you. I may just rub around the edge of that just to kind of get that end bit to pop, but only because I'm using very light papers. Sorry, that's a bit noisy. There we are. So I'm happy for the centre ones to be as they are. You know, it's a bit shabby chic, so we don't always need to ink. But if you're using different types of papers, by all means, feel free to ink at this point. Now, I am just going to now glue this together. And we need to think about this now, Rachel, because we're only gluing things the wrong way, as you do have a habit of doing so. So let's turn it upside down a minute. Let's create our little effect. Now, one way I find quite helpful sometimes, when you're making a pocket like this and you're going to be gluing, but you can't actually see what you're going to be gluing until you glue it, you can build your thing in place, your tuck. So line everything up so that, because I'm looking at the edge of that page there, and then the bottom is the important bit. It's all going to line up at the bottom because I've cut it that way. So I can now decide how much I want poking out. Yeah, that all fits fine at the bottom there. Is that straight? Just whatever you're lining up with, just line up with one thing. You can't, you know, there's always going to be something that's slightly off. It's like living in an old house. We used to live in an old farmhouse when I was a kid, and as our dad used to say, pick one wall and just stick with that, because you can't have it. It's not going to be level with everything. So either pick the floor or pick the ceiling or pick the side of the wall or the door. So in this case, look at your vertical lines and just go down with those, but don't worry about too much what's going on underneath. Then grab yourself a little piece of washi tape. Anyone will do, preferably something that's not your favourite. So I'm just going to grab this a minute because this one's quite modern for me. Oh, she says, now I've got to find the end. Come on, don't do this to me now. Ah, here we go. I don't want to take up too much of their time. Come on, tape. Right. Grab yourself a bit of washi and just tape them all together. There we are. Now it's not going to move. So now when I want to glue, I can do so without fear of it all smushing about. So underneath here now, oh, and even better, it'll fold over. I can now glue this edge here, okay? So I'm going to go down nice and not too deep, because I obviously want to try and utilise this, don't I, as an extra tuck. So there's that there. Oh, and across the bottom as well. Otherwise it'll be falling out, won't it? So there we go. Use whatever glue you've got on your desk. This is not going to have a lot of, you know, it's not going to be pulled about. Much can be stuck to the page in a minute. So, you know, you don't have to heavily glue, but use whatever you've got on your desk. Excuse me, sorry. And then... Now, I'm doing my video this morning because I am going somewhere with Bella and my dad at 2 o'clock. Something incredibly exciting is coming up, guys. And we are going to look at arrangements today. I will tell you all about it in due course. You'll be hearing about it very soon. So keep your eyes out, because it'll be a separate video and it'll just say, exciting news, or something to those effect. But yeah, we've got something really exciting coming up for you. So so I'm very excited this morning. I really am very excited. Okay, right. There we go. That's our pocket done. Let's take our bit of washi tape off now. Just make sure I haven't stuck that down. Look at it. Oh, I never live that down. Am I sticking that envelope down? Oh my goodness. I just hope you all remember now, moving forward, don't stick down your envelopes. There we go. Have I left much room in there? Okay. There's a little bit of space there. And when I say a tuck, it's a mini tuck, okay? Obviously, you don't have to glue that down, mind. Oh, shit, they'll all be saying, Rach, why didn't you say this beforehand? If you you want to leave it open so that you can go all the way through, you can, that's fine. But you will then have to glue at the bottom and at the top. So you choose your glue points. I glued there because I wanted to show you how to glue there, but you don't have to glue there. So I think that that's perfectly adequate to tuck something in. That one is a little deeper and that's fine. But if you want to leave it open so you can shove something in all the way, that's fine too. But you'll need to stick it at the top because you'll need to make sure that that's secure so that they basically stay together. Okay, on to the next one. So this is the next one I'm going to do. And I'm going to do in here. And I wanted to use... I think I had that bit there, didn't I? Yeah, and that one there, I think. This is the trouble when you move things. So I'm going to do the same now this side, but just with 2 this time, because this is a slightly narrower. This is also a really good process for if you wanted to make a belly band with it. You don't have to stick it on the edge. It doesn't have to be a tuck. You can use it as a belly band. Put it under there, that's better. But basically the idea of this is that it will make the papers pop more because you're making them a bit more dimensional then. If you're using your actual scraps from the pages you've used, if that makes sense. Right, so let's go there. Let me just mark my length there. And take a little bit off the bottom of here. Okay, that's that done. Let me just round my corner off. Again, this is entirely optional. If you want to keep your corners square, you can keep your corners square. Okay. So let's try this one then. Like I said just now, let's just glue this one top and bottom. So if you want to have options then you can. And if you want to stick something further in, you can. And that's fine. So in which case, if you're just doing top and bottom, you literally are only going to need to just add a little bit of glue here. Can you see what I'm doing? I'm sorry. Here, just a bit there, okay? Because like I say, don't forget, it's going to be fixed on the page as well. So it's not going to go anywhere. It'll be glued from underneath. But just to kind of put them together, you're going to want to do that. So I'm just going to layer that over the top. Stuck there, job done. There we go. And now I think when I stitch around the edge here now, that'll kind of finish that off really nicely. Now, what you could do as well, another suggestion, you could sew around your individual pieces first. I think that's what Bella would do. She would stitch around because she's really quick with her sewing machine. It must be insanely fast. I don't have the patience to sit and stitch through everything, but I know when Bella does stuff and she has that extra bit of stitching, it just brings that little bit more, you know, it's just that bit extra, isn't it? And I do also find it does make things quite solid. So if you're, especially if you're working with fairly thin paper, if you add a bit of stitching to it, it's not going anywhere. But if you're going to be using that as a regular tuck in and out, you may want to stitch around that. Again, obviously an option if you've got a machine. If you haven't, don't worry about it. And if you want to draw some faux stitches on, go ahead. It's entirely up to you. Stitching is optional. It is always optional. But the pocket will work perfectly fine without. So please don't fret if you don't have a sewing machine. Or I don't suggest any of you sit and slow stitch these. That would be quite a lot of work. So that's the second one done ready. What did I do with the first one? Ah, there it is. Let's pop that over there. So that's a mini one. That's just 2. And then the third one that I want to do is for this pocket here. So this is my, not my inner one. This is my outer bigger one. And I'm going to do it a different way this time. So I'm looking now, I've got these long strips left from these papers, and I'm going to just see what elements I want on show. So that there is that flower there. So I may put that on there just to kind of, so we don't lose that beautiful flower. And then behind that then, we're going to be building up and building up. So I may, just for a little bit of interest, add that flower there possibly. I'm going to cut the ends off. That's why I'm kind of like lining it all up. But again, you just need to play about with your papers and see what you've got there. I don't know if that's a bit too pinky there. I might go with perhaps that. I think that might look a bit better. And then perhaps we'll have that there. Yeah, I think so. They all look different, don't they? So the point is that when you look at it, you can see, oh, the 3 tucks there. Now, you also have the choice if you want to with your tuck for this one. If you want to put the little thumb, you know, with your circle cutter. If you want to put something in there, you can. I'm not going to, but that's entirely up to you. So you can add a little, you know, take a little section out with the circle cutter, and then, you know, for you to get things in and out easier. That's what I'm trying to say. But this, I'm quite happy with this. I'm going to just mark my cutting points now. So I just shuffle this up a bit so I can see the edge of the page. Now I'm happy with that piece there, so I'm going to just mark that there. That's fine. And I'm happy for that one there to follow suit. So I shall also mark that one. Where's the edge? Here it is. And then this one, I'm going to be marking the other way because I want that bit of pink there in it. It's the lovely thing about when you're working with collage style papers and you're doing projects like this, because you've got options, haven't you? Because the pages vary from thing to thing. Right, just going to cut these a sec. Okay, so that's my, and of course in doing this we're still ending up with more leftovers, so we will come back to those at another time, so hang on to them. But this basically now has created this lovely tiered pocket to go on the front of here. 1, 2 and 3. Okay, so I've cut these down now. They are ready now for me to just line up and assemble. You can put them in as far as you want or put them up as far as you want. I'd like to make this quite a substantial pocket. So I'm going to have mine up quite high, and I'm definitely not going to be gluing in the centre of these. We are only going to put this together on the edges here, okay? Because we want to have the additional pockets. So I'm just going to get a little bit of glue because I will be stitching down the side of these, as I say, just to kind of make everything nice and solid. Let me just line that up a minute. Pop that on the front of there. And remember what I was saying in my video on, oh, whatever day it was, on my birthday, the one that says find your why. If you haven't watched that yet, please try and give that a quick squint if you can, because I was talking to you all about the reason why we craft and why you've got to remember your reason for why you're crafting. Don't get caught up in what everybody else is doing. Do it for you, for your, you know. Something that I found really helped me with that process actually was what I was working with. Because when I first started out, I was buying loads and loads of those blinking 12 by 12 pads. I don't think I bought a 12 by 12 pad apart from Tim Holtz or Samperia specifically for the pattern, but those other ones I haven't bought for like 2 years, but they're still lingering. I didn't find that they inspired me at all. It was actually when I started doing my digis, I got inspired, and there are other designers whose digis very much inspire me. You need to like what you're working with, guys. That's the whole point. Junk journaling, great, wonderful. You know, the principle of what we can do and the things that we can create out of, gosh, next to nothing sometimes is great. But also a little bit of a tip, not a tip as in, you know what I mean. You've got to love what you're working with too, because if it doesn't inspire you, if it's not your style, if it's not your, I mean, I know I'm working with these lovely pretty papers, but this is not everybody's style. Some people will be doing this project and they'll do it with grungy papers. Some people will do it with, you know, maybe bohemian style. Some people may do it with botanical style, and that's great. That's you. You do you. And that's what's really, really important here, is you've got to be working with things that you find inspiring and beautiful and creative, okay? Otherwise, that will stump your creativity. Right, I'm going to go and stitch these now so you can see what they look like stitched. It won't be a minute. Okay, there we are. So, stitching done. Right, so I undid that one just to show you how it will look if you stitch the inner bit as well. With the red, I think it is actually quite effective. It does make it pop. As I say, you don't have to stitch this. You can just do them and they'll be fine. But if you do want to stitch, that's what it would look like if you do it on the inner bit, okay? And then the other one, I've obviously just stitched around the outside, but I'm really pleased with that. And that's going to cover over my hole in there now. Now what I'm going to do before I put this down, if anybody else, sorry, it was daft enough to do what I did, I'm going to put stick something over that now, because what I don't want is to be using this pocket, putting things in and out, well, obviously bigger things than that, but, and then catching it on that page and then tearing the pocket underneath. So I'm going to just do a little patch repair there. Nobody's going to see it, but at least then when stuff is going in and out, it's not going to be, you know, it's not going to get caught on that, so that'll be fine. And you won't see it, it'll be under there. So that's great. And now I've got a little tuck spot there then for me to put some things, and a bigger one there, and then this big pocket. And like I say, if you didn't want to stick those down and you won't leave them open, obviously then you'll be able to push stuff all the way through, which is fine. Great, wonderful. And then this one here is the pocket for down here. And I've just again stitched, for this time I've only stitched around the 3 bottom sides. I've literally used the stitching to just assemble this. So what I will probably do now is just add a little bit of ink to the top so that it makes it pop. Just so that you can see that there's, you know, it'll stand it off the page then. Maybe let's just do this bit here. And that bit there. There we go. All right. Now, as I say, depending on what papers you're using, you might want to ink each section. I don't feel motivated to do that at all because I'm loving the pinks and the reds, and I just would have been afraid to make it too dark. But that I felt is necessary to make it come off the page, if you know what I'm saying. I can see now I've got, oh, amazing, lovely big pocket there. Of course, we've also got the extra space here, and we've even got a little ditty one down the bottom there. So that's going to be great. Right, time to decorate now. Okay, so our pockets are all done. I have been busy putting together a few embellishment things just to kind of pretty them up a bit. So what I've done, I had some more of these circles. I don't know if you watched my video the other day where I was doing the circle scrappy cluster things. So I've used some of those and I've made some little scrappy circle clusters. They're all called the same thing, this style, okay? And I thought, I put one of my flags on the bottom and I just used a few labels and a fussy cut flower. So I thought that would look quite cute, sat on the top of there. They're like instant embellishments, aren't they? So there's another one there. Same thing again, I've used one of the flags. These flags are a freebie in our coffee shop. Link is in the video box below. So you want to go and download those, help yourselves. I've used a couple of the labels then from our recent kits and again some more circles. So I thought that would look rather fetching on there. And then for this one, because it was slightly different, so I've taken another one of the flags, I've covered it with a bit of lace in the background, and then I've taken one of the spring fussy cut flowers, 2 of the labels, and then I can pop that over there, then either at that height there or at that height there, depending if I want it. I need to just see if the page, how low it comes down, so I'll check that in a minute. And I've also done a little tiny label to go on the other side, just to give a little bit of balance because it's a bit bigger. So let's get those stuck on, but I'm going to do it in place so I can see, because they overlap a little bit. I wanted to see how far out they would stick out. So let's do this one first. So I'm going to just pop my pocket on there because I planned for it to go there, hadn't I? And then I'm going to just grab that a minute and just see if I place that there. Was that bit of washi tape? So, you know, if you want to know how things are going to work, just washi tape it all into place and then have a practice then. So if I close that, will it get in the way of anything? I don't think it will it? No, that's fine. Because I wanted it to just kind of, just ever so casually, just hang over the side kind of thing. Does that make sense? Right, to stick that in place now, because I like where it is. So I'm going to use some of this proper glue, as if the oohoo is not proper glue. Terrible thing to say, Rachel. You know what I mean. I'm going to use the stickier glue because I don't think the oohoo is very good when it comes to sticking down embossed papers. They're not as simple to stick in place, I find, in my experience anyway, the embossed papers as the others are. Let's take that away right now. Right, there we go. Find my sticking point there, I think. Very nice, very nice. Right, now I'm happy with that now. I'm happy with everything else. Is it safe to glue this down? Yes. And how many sides are you gluing, Rachel? 2. Okay. Is the pocket loose? Yes. Oh, dear me. I have been giggling today reading all your comments from last night's video. My most profuse apologies, those that were being really keen and crafting along before realising my boo-boo. Maybe just check out what I do first in future. Oh, no, I should put a disclaimer at the beginning, shouldn't I? There is a mistake in this video. Don't do what I did. There, how does that look? It's made an already beautiful page more beautifuler. If that's a word, I know it's not, but it sounds good. Okay, let's do this one over here next. I'll come back to that one at the end. So shuffle, shuffle, shuffle. So you'll notice I've done my quick patch repair now, so that's good to go. Nothing's going to scuff that. That's really well and truly in place. So now we want this pocket here, and then I want to pop that on there. Now I think as long as my circles stay inside of this bit here, I think we'll be okay, but I'm just going to check because I don't want anything getting bent as I'm opening and closing these flaps. No, that's fine. Nothing's going to get in the way there. That's okay. I'm happy with that. Because that's the only thing you've got to watch with these flips and flaps and folds and things is that sometimes if there's anything overhanging, it can get bent and caught. And obviously it's only paper, so just need to make sure that everything's all tucked in carefully. Basically, if you want a roller coaster, you wouldn't want your hands hanging out, would you? That's basically what this is like. You would want everything tucked in nice and safely. Right, let me just put that there. And then, oh, my cooker's beeping. I'm going to have to go down and turn the tea off. I shall be back in a moment. Okay, there we are, all sorted. Tea is fine. Not ready yet. How do you explain that? Sorry, love, tea's burnt. I was doing a YouTube video for a 100 days project, and there's a very real risk this may happen again over the next 3.5 months. Yeah, that would go down well, I don't think. Okay, right. Here we are. Stick that one down. Oh, I am liking these. These are just like instant page dressing, aren't they? Very nice. Right, it was this one we were working on, wasn't it? Not that one, yeah. Okay. Just checking, just checking. Bam, 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 bam. Let's put that one there. Yep, that'll do. That'll do. And that one there. Okay. And then let's have a look how low down this goes. No, that's too low. I don't. Hang on, let me put that pocket up there. Yeah, I don't want that hanging out. No, I'm going to pop that one there. Now, I know it'll restrict, but that's plenty of space in there for, well, actually, if I tuck it on the back. It's good glue, but it can get all messy. Okie dokie. Right. Oh, there we are. Perhaps we could leave it loose. That's what I was just thinking. And then if you do want to put anything, because that'll be held in place there. So if we glue there, and then if you do want to put anything in there then, oh no, you won't be able to lift it because of the flower. No, scrap that idea. I'm going to just glue it down. All right, it's worth a go. But that thing sticking over the top is going to get in the way. So what we will do, we will just forfeit some of this very large pocket. But I'm okay with that. Yeah, I'm happy with that. It's cool. It's not a problem. What have I done there now? Oh, nothing. It's my flower head. My flower causing problems again. There we go. Right. Put that in there. Very good. And then we glue in this side. And we glue in this side. And then we glue in this side. I'm going to just put that on there in case I'm tempted to glue anywhere else. It doesn't need to double check, does it? No. Here we are. Here we are. Where are we, say? Very nice. Wow, look at that. How good does that look? All we need now is some nice... Oh, I mustn't say. I'll be spoiling the next one, won't I? I have to wait and see. I have to wait and see. Right. Hopefully I can edit some bits out of this video so it doesn't turn into too long a video. But basically, that is today's project. So this is day 2. Okay, guys? You need to go and make a couple of these using the scraps you had left over from yesterday's cut-ins. And if you didn't have any left over, it doesn't matter. You can use any strips. But you just need a couple of strips. And then we're going to make some doubled and triple pockets. So there's a double, there's a triple, and then there's a triple sideways pocket. And some embellishments, please. I'd like to see them decorated if you can. I won't mark you down if you don't, but That's just what I'd like to see you do today. Don't forget to share those pictures. Come on, let's see them up. Okay, so I've seen the posts that have gone on today. People saying, you didn't give all the information. So the information was at the beginning of this video. So if you did skip my intro, go back and watch it because you need to know. But other than that, that's it. It's as simple as that, guys. It's really not complicated. So I'm going to leave you with that. Go have fun, play, and I'll see you for day 3 tomorrow. Take care. Bye-bye.